with Futures Trading. I'd like to welcome you to the channel. If you're new, thank you for stopping by. And of course, I want to share a lot of information with you. So I'm going to have that link. Do forgive me. I'm at my workstation, a different workstation. If you're new, I'm going to have this link below the video. And so that way you kind of get caught up on how to enter the trades. I want to talk to you guys about what it is that I put out over the weekend and give you some more prices that you can possibly, enter in on and try to get as close as you can to get some of this activity to work for you. All right, so let's take a look at some of what I said to you in that video to kind of get you caught up here. Just to bring you up to speed if you're new, there's blue bars, blue outline bars on this chart, blue outline bars on this chart. Here's one, here's one, here's one. They were all coming in on this up. They got here and they kind of stalled at it. You can kind of see it over here. They had one here. They went up to it, pushed down, but then they couldn't hold it, went right back past it. And then, of course, they came in here. They pulled up into it, and then they took off to the downside. And then Friday, they had a blue outline bar here. They pulled near the back of it. And then, of course, they took off to the downside. Now, as I move my crosshairs here, you can look in the upper left-hand corner. It will give you the open, high, low, and close. All right, so as I hover the mouse, you can know the prices. All right, so to have this bar was 875. Do give me 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Do forgive me. Yes, this high here, that's 875 and a quarter, and then of course they pulled up to that high and they did not break it, and that's 867. All right, so they got really close to it on Friday, and then they managed to turn around. All right, and they dropped. I told you guys that these two blue outline bars, and they're blue outline bars here, that this one would be a problem. All right, I told you that. Now, in the last video, I said, now hopefully they will want to go back up from here. And price was right here in the last video to get you caught up. But I did tell you if they wanted to keep it down, they should not close above that 732. All right, so the high of this bar here, we can go ahead and get a look at that. That's 724 and a quarter. Now I got the 32 because I was using my crosshairs. All right, I was using my crosshairs looking at this daily and the threshold. Now the threshold of this bar here, that's roughly at 25, let's say 25, yeah, about 25. Again, I'm on a different workstation, but yeah, so they shouldn't close above this threshold if they're going to drop. Now, I did tell you that they're not going to pass this bar. I told you that if they're going to go down, they're not going to pass this bar. And I gave you these prices to the downside. Now, the first one will be this bar, the low of this bar. That target was there before they took off to the upside. They tried to lean over and get it, but it didn't work. Now, two blue outline bars. There was consecutive ones over here. Just kind of give you some behavior here. They pulled into it. They pushed up. They turn the corner. Then when they come past the blue consecutive outline bars, they will accelerate. That's a problem. You don't want them doing that. And so here's your blue outline bar. Here's a blue outline bar here. They pushed down. They pulled up to this one, turned around and dropped. They had one here, kind of stalled, but then they pushed again. There's the blue outline bar, and they've managed to move it up. Here's a couple of blue outline bars here. I told you I don't want them past these bars. They get past these bars, that can be a problem. I won't be looking for them to bounce at this zone anymore. All right, because I put a zone in the prior video there. Well, before that one, I put the zone there telling you that they could get up here, and possibly rotate. And I even told you they could accelerate towards it. Well, they accelerated, but they came shy. They didn't hit it. So if they get past here, that could lead to a bigger problem. It can lead to a bigger problem. Now, when it comes to the prices that we're considering, let me just move this out of the way just a bit more. This is today's threshold for today's activity. And again, it's adjusting. So it won't be here at at these prices, probably, I would say probably by the end of the day, it might move just a little bit, not by much though. It shouldn't move by much. And so these are some prices you can look at as far as tomorrow, that they may want to trade into. All right. So if they're going to try to stay down, they may not get all the way back up here tomorrow. All right. They may not do that. All right. So you're probably looking roughly at that 633 area, somewhere in there. So they're going to probably want to stay beneath that going into tomorrow. All right. Now, that's the daily. All right. So that's the daily and the hourly. Trying to just give you some more information to kind of go with so you can, just be able to interact with it at will. Let's take a look at some of this activity before they got them moving around like they're doing. All right, so we got the blue outline bars, and I hope that those that have the indicator suite, I hope you have figured out which one it is, because I told you in the last video I wasn't going to tell you, and I'm not going to tell you here. I want you to figure it out. I want you to figure out uh, which one is it. Okay, so I made some updates and I want you to go in there and take a look, and it's a reason why I'm doing that. I told you guys, I sent an email letting you know the update was there. No one responded back but two people, to say thank you, and I just don't like that unprofessional ethic. I want everyone to be treated fairly. All right, it's really important because I'm trying to do my best to give you guys some information and some products that can really work for you at a very, very discounted rate. All right, now I got you your FVG zones. I made you one. And then, of course, I got you some supply and demand zones. Now, if you want to know how to find the FVG, that's my whole goal, is to give you a lot of information so you don't have to use indicators. If you want to find the FVG, and I'll do it in real time as well, this bar just needs to be going up and down, up and down. All right. And I've been doing this for a very long time. I'm an older fellow, so I know how to look at markets. It's very simple. And I'm going to teach you how to do it. The mid of this candle just needs to exceed the prior bar's high. That's it. Or the prior bar's low. Let's do it for the downside here if you want to know where the gap will show up. All right. So the moment that the mid of the bar, okay, exceeds the prior bar's low, okay, let's do this. The moment that it exceeds the prior bar's low, there's a good chance, I mean, a very, very good chance that the zone would be there. All right, so the zone would be there. You won't need this third bar. Okay, you won't need that. That's late. All right, so I don't want you to get into the trades late. You don't need that bar to know that that gap will show up. You don't need that bar to know that that gap will show up. All right, it's really simple. Now they were on this high. There's the zones, two zones here. They didn't want to break it. It's in an uptrend. All right, and we're going to go over what the uptrend is. They came and made the supply and demand zone here. It kind of got stuck, but it just didn't want to break down. They popped to the upside. We'll talk about those squares in a minute. I'll just tell you what those are. They're on the high. They're forcing it down because they're not coming back past these bars. You got them coming in here. Okay. The moment that the bar closed, I want to tell you this. The moment that the bar closed, it turns blue. All right. So when the bar closed, it'll turn blue. When the bar closed, it'll turn blue. They're here. They tried to pop up, but they couldn't hold it. All right. They came in on this bottom. They popped up, but then they start selling it and they broke the shoulder. Now, this is important. I want to make sure that you understand how to use these bars. They came in on the high and they broke the shoulder. That's bad. All right. So that's not what you want. So now let's kind of frame this out, put a little bit of context to this, and I'm gonna give you a little bit of the real time and then I'll be out your way. All right. So let's put a little bit of context to it. Now here, they're inside the shoulder. All right, if you're trying to go up. All right, so here they were exiting here. They're forcing it down here. They were even right here. But the moment that they break back past here, they're trying to cycle back to the upside. All right, and of course they cycled to the upside there. They got right into that zone. You can see them getting active right before they got to the zone. And again, when the bar closes, it turns blue. They got right in the zone and they turn. Now here's your problem. I know you see the supply and demand zone here, but this is your problem right here. They're coming in on this bottom. The moment the bar closes, it turns blue. You can see them coming into it, trying to buy this dip. Okay, so it came in, but then they shoulder broke it. All right, so they're up here selling this high. Let me see if there's a trend here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's just 6. So the seventh one is coming. Here's the seventh one lower. They're selling it. They came in again. They're selling it. Now you have a trend down. Okay. And then, of course, they're forcing it back into this bottom. Now here's the only problem. Let's do this. They forced it back into this bottom, but they kind of held it. Now let's just do a little bit of this. Let's just do a little bit of that. They kind of held it and then popped up again. So they kind of had you trapped just long enough to annoy everyone. All right. So then they popped up again. They were shoulder breaking. And this is a tricky one because they came in on this bottom here, came in on the high, and then they shoulder broke that. All right. They came in right there too. That's a blue bar right here. The moment that that bar closes, you can take the trade if you want. But again, this is down. They're in a downtrend. They popped up. Now that's insinuating that they're in this turn. But look how they accelerated back through it. Now, this is that fair value gap zone. Now, I just told you about that gap. All right. So if you get the gap, it's a 3-bar pattern. All right. So what I want you to do, if you see this gap, because the mid got to be beneath that low. Okay. If you see that gap there, I want you to have your stop behind the bar before the gap. This one. Okay, so your stop would have had to been here. They pushed up to it, they pushed down, but then they came back in that low and they picked it up yet again. Came into this high. All right, now they're exiting. All right, so this is different. Okay, this is a little bit different than here. All right, they're exiting and they're trying to force it down. And of course, it went through that bottom, and then that's when you got that drop. Now, here come the turnaround. So here is the turnaround. Now, the supply and demand zone only requires 2 bars, not 3. All right, so this vertical zone only requires 2 bars, and I want you to go for the distance of the two. All right, it's really simple. Don't try to overextend yourself. You get your supply and demand zone off this bottom. All right, so you get that supply and demand zone off this bottom. Let me just kind of move this stuff out your way. They got up near our zone, leaned over. All right, they leaned over. Now you're not seeing the blue up bars in this. You're only seeing blue down bars in this. All right, keep in mind they're passing the blue down bars on this side of the market. So they're trying to keep it up. All right. So now you're seeing the blue bar, but it's on the low, not so much inside of the pivot. All right. It's on the bottom of the pivot. You want to kind of see them inside of it. So once they lift, you want to see them come in on that high and drop it. Well, they managed to turn around and your blue bars kicked in and they just begin to move it up, passing the blue bars. So now they're, in the shoulder here and they're getting past it. Then they managed to get up here, and this is where it gets tricky, right up here to this high. All right, so remember I told you, hey, if they get past consecutive blue bars, that can be a problem. Consecutive blue bars, consecutive blue bars, consecutive blue bars. Okay, this can be a problem when they get past these bars if they're consecutive. All right, now the moment the bar close, that's a potential trade. Now here, they managed to get past these two here. Now, keep in mind, they're inside of all of this activity. So this pivot, that blue bar is inside of it and they broke it. So they're up here. So you can just kind of collect this whole area. Let's do this here. You got all of your blue bars back there. You just kind of grab that area. If not, just do this, you know. And so they pulled into that, and there you have it. They dropped down. Now they pushed up consecutive blue bars. Then they saw it coming in on this side. Now, if they're not going to lift it because they came in here, if you're not going to lift it to take that shoulder out, well, there's a potential decline there. All right. So that's what you have with the tools on today. Now, again, I'll just kind of shrink the chart and let you kind of see if you have the tools. And we'll talk about that square in just a moment. All right. So that square that you're seeing. Now let's take a look at how that square worked, just looking back at some of this stuff. We're trying to get a bar that has 4 little body bars on the inside. And that square would pop up above this bar if it's a bull bar, or below if it's a bear bar, if you get those bodies of those bars trapped inside of here. Okay. If you get 4 bodies trapped inside of there, you'll get that signal. Okay. Now there's another indicator that I have that provides a little bit more information on how to interact with that when it shows up. So right now you're just kind of seeing it in a vacuum, but it comes in some very interesting places. That's all. Comes in some very interesting places. All right. So you just want to keep an eye out for that. So if you're new, this could help you learn cycles, like when this slows down. What is it that they're possibly up to? And that could potentially, give you some information to consider. All right, so now let's take a look at some of this real time for just a few moments here. I don't want to be before you long. Let's go down to a 15-second chart. All right, so let's read this just a little bit here. Don't want to be before you long. So let's kind of map out some of this activity here on the downside. Let's find out some areas where they trap some blue bars. All right, so it would be here. All right, so they put a blue bar inside of this pivot here. All right, we're just going to read this for about 5-10 minutes. All right, so you got a blue bar in there, and they broke that shoulder. Okay, they broke that shoulder. All right, so they're probably sitting right in that area there. All right, so they had this going on too, but they already passed this. All right, so they had this going on, but they passed it. All right, so let's see what they got from below. All right, so we're trapping these bars here. We're trapping them. Let's see if they'll get through this high. Let's just see. Let's sit this here. Okay. Let's see if they'll get through this high, maybe push up. All right. So they ran past this. Now, when it comes to the trend, all right, now there's a blue bar. Remember, the moment that the bar closed, that's a potential trade for that direction. It's just indicating something to you. All right. Now, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 7. All right, so that's 7. All right, so now we're trying to see if it wants to go the distance of the 7. Trying to show you how to just get a trend and try to trade with the trend. Don't make it difficult. So that's saying that they can get roughly there. Now that's roughly at the center of the chart, so that kind of makes sense. All right, so the center of the chart, I'll go over that as well. The center of the chart is here. So let's go center of the chart. Well, the chart just adjusts. So the center of the chart is roughly there. We'll use our zones for the upper and the lower half of the chart. So the lower half of the chart is roughly this zone. All right. The upper half of the chart is roughly that zone. So they can potentially dip back, hit here, and then take off again. They can potentially. Or they're going up here into this zone here where they were last trapping the blue bar. All right. So this is another potential area where they're trapping the blue bar. Preferably like them on the shoulders. I preferably like them inside of the turn, but in this particular scenario, it's sitting right on that high. All right, so let's see if it can make this distance. Okay, there's the blue bar. The moment that the bar closes, that's a potential trade. Will it always work? No. Nothing I would show you or put in front of you will work all the time, but it just needs to be accurate enough to get you a winning trade. All right, so that's important. And the goal is to give them one bar. If the one bar doesn't work, well, try the next one. Just one bar. Try not to give them too many bars. Just one. Try one with this bar color. Now there's several bar colors that I have. Single plots, dual plots. I have triple bar plots. There's various different plots that I have, but the indicators that you're seeing here, very simple stuff to go with. Now, when it go to the universal pattern that's on the channel, let me talk to you about that. The pattern that's on the channel that you're looking for to go up, again, you want the mid of the bar to get above the bar's high. That's them telling you that majority is pushing it to the upside. You don't have it here. You maybe on this one here. I have a bar color for that as well, and some levels. I even have it where it'll give you the target, how far it's supposed to go. It was on this one, so yeah, it can get that far. Okay, so let's see when they get up here. Now, can they still go back up? I know they did this big climactic run up. They absolutely did. Yes, they can. If they want to go back up, they can. So what we would do, let's take this hourly really quickly here and just kind of give you an idea of what the up would look like. So we have 7 bars closing higher here. If they're going to hold this supposed zone, we're looking for them to get this high. That's what we're looking for. Now, if they can get up here, that'll be fantastic. That'll be fantastic if they can pull that off. All right. But if they're going to go back down, well, that zone, I told you that could be a problem. So they kind of got trapped between two. And so I do know that this market can go back up. It can if they so want to send it back up. They can. I told you guys that, but I don't like what they're doing, and that's why I'm putting it in front of you so you can get an idea of what's to come of it, what it can become. So let's see, they're getting closer to this. Let's see if they'll come back to the center of the chart. All right, so now look, we got our signal saying that, hey, they're doing this. Now, again, there's some details about all of the stuff that I'm telling you. There's some details that I'm not divulging. So there's some information on how to trade these bars, how to trade that signal. There's some information I'm purposely leaving out of having you know that, but it's user friendly enough if you're a beginner trader that you can put this on the chart and do exactly what I just said. If the bar turns blue, see if they won't break it and continue in that direction, given that you know what a trend is. When they get to the trend distance, sometimes they rotate. So you don't want to bypass the information on the channel trying to trade my indicators. You don't want to do that. You got a blue bar here. They didn't break the bottom of it. Okay. You had a blue bar here. They pushed up some more, but then they ran into that blue bar. Okay. And then they kind of rotated down. So you don't want to trade my tools in a vacuum. You want to make sure that you understand how to trade price with no indicators. The moment that you understand that, all right, so we're getting a blue one right at this zone. Yeah, I believe it can keep going to the upside. They may want to, I don't know, lean back a little bit. Let's see if they'll do it. Okay, so let's see if they'll do it. This is a zone. They coming in right at the zone, so that kind of makes sense. The goal is to get you to be able to trade with nothing on the chart. It's really important that you know how to do that. I'm doing my best to disclose how to go about doing that. That's all, how to do it. It's very simple and it's not complicated. Okay, so they don't want to go down too far. Okay, so once they blow this zone, I would absolutely let you go. Again, I appreciate each and every one of you who took the time to hit the like button on the last video. There was at least 7 of you. Thank you. For those that practice the proper etiquette and showing a level of appreciation for the information that I'm disclosing. If you're in the market for tools, you can have the suite. If you're interested, all you have to do is email me. I'm not doing a lot of Q&A. All right, this is a follow the plot process. If you're interested in tools, only if you're in the market for it. I'm not here to sell you anything. I don't want to teach you how to read the chart with nothing on it. But if you're already searching for tools, I want to make available to you a indicator suite that's full of plenty indicators. I mean, there's a great deal of them in there, and they're not based off no oscillators and all that stuff. They're not that. All right, so they're tools that you can learn from. It's very simple. I tried to explain to you a couple of the tools that's on the chart in regards to the 4 bars. Just look for 4 bars. Can't tell you what I'm doing with this one. Simple. It's not complicated, but I can't tell you. Now, the no touch bar color is, of course, in that video link that I'll leave below. It'll highlight the bars based on this scenario. And there's another indicator I had on the chart in the video that's going to be listed below. It's called the increase. So it's another form of a majority. So you'll be able to get into the market based on the principle of majority because that's what's controlling the movement. All right. So now they're passing this. But yes, the indicators are user friendly. If you're a beginner trader, if they can pass this, we're going to throw her. They're doing it again. They're doing it again. All right, so here's that signal. If they can get past this, we're going to just kind of put a zone here. Let's see if they can get past it. Okay, we'll just throw that right there. So they're user friendly. If they can get through this high, let's see if they can get through it. They're active up here. They're active up here. No, they're not willing to do that just yet. Oh, they're doing it from that side. So yes, but there's a lot of tools that's in the indicator list that you're welcome to. And again, it's just 200 bucks. If you contact me, just ask for the invoice if you're interested. All right. I'm not going to be doing a lot of Q&A about the tools. That is very simple. If you're not in a position to, dispose of 200 bucks, don't purchase the suite. All right. Don't purchase the indicator suite. I do not want you uh, having anxiety or any kind of emotional difficulty because you're unfamiliar with how to trade them. I can't explain all the different ways to trade the indicators. It's just 200 bucks. I'm giving you information here on the channel that's worth more than $200. So it's not fair to those that spend of course time with me to learn how to trade for me to just disclose to you all the information that I know about the indicators, and of course quite a bit more. But if you're not able to extend yourself the opportunity, because that's all it is, to learn. That's all it is. I'm an educator, so I try to make tools that you can learn from. if you're not able to extend yourself that opportunity to learn, then it's best that you not indulge in purchasing the suite. I want you to take the information on the channel and just rehearse that information over and over and over again until it becomes very simple for you, until you get an understanding of trend, how to look at majority. Practice those things. It's free. It, trust me, it costs a lot of money to be able to disclose to you how to look at a chart. Very simple. It's a very simple way of looking at the chart, and it costs a lot of money. Trust me, I paid it. So I want to share it with you for free. All right. So do your best to, again, just kind of take the information on the channel and move it forward. But yes, if you're in the market for some tools, I do have them as well. I don't want you to go and spend thousands of dollars or hundreds of dollars for that matter, only to end up frustrated that, of course, that the information is not providing you the experience that you want. All right. So if you want to, they're doing it right now. The mid of this bar is above this bar's high. Okay, so let's see if they won't come back past this bar, and then I would absolutely let you go. I was trying to wait for that to show up. This is close. I don't have that bar color up here. I don't want to get it, but I believe this bar's high is below this bar's mid, so they didn't supposed to break that anyway. But let's see what it does. We had a chance to see our little square show up here. We had a chance, and they kind of stalled us out for a little while. And again, you're just using 4 bars. That's all you're doing. You're getting 4 bars. When it happens, you get the big bar here. It's always going to be a big bar, all right? And then you get 4 little teeny bars that's going to be located right in there. Now, again, I am leaving out some details on how to trade this. All right, I am doing that, but I want you to know it's just that simple. When you get this scenario to happen, it's suggesting that it will go this far. All right, so let's see if it can make it. Okay, you want to make trading simple. You don't want to make it complicated. Let's see if it can get up there, and then once it gets here, I will absolutely let you go. Let's see if it can get here. Let's see if it can get there. All right, so for the hourly, again, we're still kind of just trapped in between the two zones. Again, I had put that in that last video that, it's a chance that they would, have a problem up here in this zone. It's a chance, and they got there and they're, kind of doing this. Can it turn back around and go up? Yes. Yes, it absolutely. Okay, yeah, they came in here, they picked it up, and they're pushing it to the target. And again, when the bar closes, it can either be an opportunity to sell it or buy it. It's either. Okay, so you got to make sure you understand context and how it works. We were expecting this target, all right, and they got there. All right, well, that's my time with you. I wish you all the best with your trading. Take care.